their homelessness response system, aiming to streamline how the city works with its partners and funds its response efforts.
Drug use and, evidence of fire.
Gray says 25 people from this camp moved into shelters.
Suburb. We're talking about Elon Musk and the mansion widely reported to be owned by him on the edge of Westlake Hills city limits.
But on Wednesday night, as passengers rode, tragedy struck right next to them.
Austin was once called the future of America, but today, that future is being tested by some of the most basic challenges. As tech hubs begin to lose their shine and workers head back to the coasts, Austin stands at a crossroads. A looming drought threatens its water supply. Home prices have soared out of reach. Homelessness continues to rise. And traffic? It's becoming unmanageable. Is this the beginning of the end for Austin's reign as a hub of innovation? Stay with us. We're diving into the other side of life in a city that grew too fast and is now dealing with the consequences. Austin, Texas. Covering around 272 square miles, has long stood as a symbol of the American dream, a place where creativity, technology, and modern urban living come together. Set along the Colorado River in central Texas, Austin is famously known as the live music capital of the world. With over 250 active music venues, it's a paradise for fans of everything from country to electronic. But Austin's appeal isn't just about music. Home to tech giants like Tesla, Apple, and Oracle, the city has seen a wave of professionals and digital nomads arrive, chasing opportunities in its fast-growing startup ecosystem. The city's urban vibe is reflected in its endless indie cafes, food trucks parked on nearly every corner, and co-working spaces buzzing with energy. Austin's startup culture is thriving, creating a dynamic and innovative atmosphere. And thanks to Green City programs, cycling and electric vehicles are a part of everyday life, positioning Austin as one of America's more eco-conscious cities. It's also an outdoor lover's haven, with easy access to Zilker Park and trails around Lady Bird Lake. Residents and tourists alike enjoy biking, paddling, and connecting with nature. As Texas's most connected city, Austin continues to lead in smart infrastructure and tech innovation. Programs like the Smart City Alliance highlight its commitment to using cutting-edge tech to improve quality of life. With its unique blend of culture, technology, and lifestyle, Austin remains one of the most exciting places to live and visit in the United States. But behind all the shine, a darker side is starting to surface. Just 30 minutes outside of downtown Austin, the atmosphere shifts completely. In places like Bastrop and Manor, you'll find old wooden homes, quiet roads, and a lifestyle rooted in simplicity. Here, people live close to the land, raising livestock, growing vegetables, and building close-knit communities based on mutual support. But the challenges are real. Limited access to high-speed internet and unequal healthcare services continue to hold many families back. Take Bastrop County as an example. It recently secured $47 million in funding through the Bringing Online Opportunities to Texas program to deliver fiber internet to over 10,000 homes that had been left behind. That digital gap has long affected education, healthcare, and economic opportunities for rural Texans. Healthcare access is another major hurdle. Like many rural areas across the state, communities outside Austin face a severe shortage of primary care providers. But there's hope. A new wave of 168 doctors has joined through. The Dell Medical School and Ascension Seton Residency Program. Last year alone, they provided over 575,000 hours of service, and their presence brings renewed hope to underserved rural communities. Even in the heart of downtown Austin, inequality is impossible to ignore. Behind the gleaming skyscrapers, homeless encampments continue to grow. As of January 2025, more than 3,200 people in Austin and Travis County were living without permanent shelter. Of those, over 1,500 were sleeping in unsheltered locations, in tents, cars, or on the streets. This reflects a deepening housing crisis. Home prices in Austin have surged by more than 75% since before the pandemic. Aggressive gentrification, especially in East Austin, has pushed longtime residents out of their neighborhoods. Once home to strong African American and Latinx communities, these areas have seen a sharp rise in property values, drastically changing the demographic and cultural landscape. Meanwhile, the minimum wage in Texas has remained stagnant at $7.25 an hour since 2009. Yet in Austin, a living wage is estimated at $21.63 an hour. The gap is massive, and it's pushing low-income families to the edge. Austin is also home to around 296,000 immigrants, making up about 14% of the city's population. Among them, an estimated 100,000 are undocumented. They play a vital role in industries like construction, hospitality, and food service. Yet they often live with legal uncertainty and economic hardship. From 2015 to 2023, Austin also took in over 6,200 unaccompanied migrant children, making it the fifth highest city in the nation for such cases. These communities are essential, but face limited access to services and are vulnerable to deportation. And then comes the irony. In the midst of this crisis, ultra-luxury properties are still making headlines. One example, actress Emma Stone's home in Tarrytown, listed for $26.5 million. And in Westlake Hills, residents filed formal complaints in early May 2025 against a property owned by Elon Musk. The controversy? A 16-foot chain-link fence was installed without a permit, along with outward-facing cameras and armed security. The $6 million home, purchased in 2022, has been dubbed Fort Knox by HOA President Paul Hemmer. Musk's team applied for retroactive permits, but the request was denied. The Zoning Commission has now ordered the unauthorized structures removed. Residents fear that heavy security will begin spilling into public roads. Musk defended his actions, and the City Council is scheduled to review the decision on May 14th. All of this highlights a growing divide in Austin, a city once hailed for opportunity, now grappling with the consequences of unchecked growth. Can it still be called the city of the future if so many are being left behind? But Austin isn't standing still. Amid the housing crisis and rising poverty, seeds of hope are quietly taking root, nurtured by grassroots movements and local initiatives that are building real, lasting change. Communities aren't just waiting for government action, they're creating their own paths toward a more inclusive and sustainable future. Take Village Farm Austin, for example. Located just 8 miles from downtown, this tiny home community in East Austin was built on the belief in simpler, more eco-conscious living. It offers affordable, minimalist housing within a collective environment, standing as a quiet form of resistance against runaway housing prices and gentrification. Even more inspiring is Community First Village, a permanent neighborhood for Austin's chronically homeless. But it's more than just housing. It's a healing ecosystem. There's a community garden, workshops, even a chapel. It's a national model for what housing with dignity can look like. On the policy side, the city of Austin has committed more than $42 million toward affordable housing projects. And beyond the city limits, rural areas are also stepping up. Through agritech and ecotourism, small towns are reimagining themselves as part of the long-term solution. Programs like Bastrop County Cares are working with locals on issues like education, mental health, and sustainable development. Austin is a city of sharp contrasts, a place that glows, but still carries its scars. It's predicted to remain a top destination for domestic migration through 2030. But the real challenge is this: how do we make sure progress doesn't leave people behind? Amid the traffic, the extreme weather, the housing crisis, and the strain of immigration, we have to ask some hard questions. Who's really benefiting from this boom? And who's being asked to pay the price? If you live in Austin, which side of the story do you see yourself on?